Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to like this video, share it with somebody who may benefit from it. Drop your comments or questions in the comment section down below. So guys, in today's video, I will be basically clarifying a few misunderstandings or things that weren't so clear from the previous video that I did on how to apply for a Canada visitor visa. I also added the forms at the end, so please check that out. So guys, once again, you are going to type Canada visitor visa application in Google, and you are going to select the first option or the option that has .ca at the end. When the page loads, you will see this information that you need to give your biometrics if you have never given one before in the past 10 years. If you scroll down, you'll also see the option to apply online for a visitor visa. You select that option, then you will be prompted to create a GCKey account, which I will not be creating in this video, but if y'all are interested in seeing how I create a GCKey account, you can let me know in the comment section down below. Otherwise, we're gonna pretend as if we already created that account and just sign in. However, if you don't have a GCKey account, you just scroll down. Where you see don't have an account, you click register. Read through the instructions and simply register with GCKey. Here you will click sign up and fill out the information. But because I already have a GCKey account, I'm just going to go ahead and log in using that information. As soon as I'm logged in, I'm going to click continue. Then it takes me to two-factor authentication. This is basically an app that you have to download on your phone. Exit this application and go to the app where you will get a 6-digit code to put in this slot here. So I'm going to just switch over quickly to my app, get the code and come back. After putting the code, it will take me to this page. I just select continue and I will have to agree to the terms and conditions. You can read through them and then you select accept if you accept. On this screen, you have to do an identity validation. You basically are going to respond to questions that you created when you did your GCKey account. Select continue. So after that page, you will see a list of all the applications you have submitted. You also have the option of linking applications that you have done, or you can continue an application that you have started, or simply start an application. And these are some of the applications that you can start. So we're going to select apply to come to Canada. On this page, it's asking you for a personal reference code, and as you can see, it is required. Now, depending on how you started the application, you may or may not have a reference code. In this case, I did not do it the other way in which it could be done, which is not demonstrated in this video. So I'm gonna skip this part and scroll all the way down where it says I do not have a personal reference code. Just below that, it says determine your eligibility and apply online, and I am going to select visitor visa, study and or work permit because that is what we will be applying for. Now let's find out if we're eligible to apply. Visit, and then how long you will stay. Of course, it's a temporary visa, so we're going to select less than 6 months, and you just basically go through and select the code that's in your passport. I'm Jamaican, and so I'm naturally gonna select Jamaica. And we're gonna pretend again as if we are not in Canada. I'm currently in Canada, but I am applying, or I'm showing people how to apply from outside of Canada, since it's more realistic that you will need a visa outside of Canada, except that you are a student and your study visa expired or something of that sort, where you're going to need a visitor visa from inside of Canada. And then this question is very personal to you. as to whether or not you have a family member who is a citizen or PR of Canada 18 years or older. I will select no because you don't necessarily have to visit somebody who is a Canadian citizen or PR. If you have a family member here who is studying or who is working, you can select no even though you want to visit the person. The person does not have to be a citizen or PR. That's basically what I'm saying here. Then you go ahead and you select your date of birth. Then we hit next. And for this one, I'm going to select no and then next. I'm not a PR of the US, so no and next. I select married. I'm going to select that as my option. And it says based on the information you provided, the results indicate that you are eligible to apply for a visitor visa, and it shows the cost is just $100, and it tells you how you can enter Canada and that it is valid for a period of 10 years. Guys, bear in mind for this section that Canada does not issue a visa beyond your passport validity. So if you have a passport that has 5 years on it, even though the visa is valid for up to 10 years, you will be given 5 years because your passport will be expired in 5 years. If it is 3 years, you will get up to 3 years. If it is 10 years, then you're going to get the 10 years. So make sure that when you are applying for your Canada visitor visa, your passport has enough years so as not to have to go back to apply for a visa. It's just a heads up. Okay, so this is the part that confused a lot of people from the previous video, hence I'm redoing this video. So the main purpose of the visit, you have to visit a family or a friend, to conduct business, tourism, attend interview. The last video I selected tourism, and I mentioned that you can still, even if you're visiting somebody, you can still upload your documents in the client information section. For this one, the difference between selecting tourism and visit is that tourism will not give you a mandatory field to upload a letter of invitation at the end of the application when it's time to submit the documents. However, if you select to visit family and or friends, there will be a mandatory section for you to upload an invitation letter. If you select tourism but you're going to visit somebody, you will still need that invitation letter, but you can upload it in the client information section as opposed to having that mandatory field, because you will not have it for the tourism. I hope I'm not confusing anybody in this section. So for this video, we are going to select to visit family and or friends so that you can see the difference between the two applications. You can revisit the other video and see the difference. So now it is asking if you have proof of relationship with the person who is inviting you to Canada. If you selected tourism, you would not have seen that question. So yes, and we can also click on the question mark to see. For example, proof of relationship can be wedding invitation, letter of invitation from the person who is inviting you. Depending on your situation, you may or may not have a job. If you do have a job, you select yes. If you own a business, you select yes. And this part, if you depend on people like for living expenses, stuff like that, then you select yes. Otherwise, you select no. Have you traveled to other countries in the previous 10 years? If you select yes at the end of the application when it's time to submit the documents, you will have a section for you to upload your travel information. But if you select no, the only thing that you are required to upload is your bio page, visas that you have held, or stamps, or anything in your current passport. Are you accompanying a family member that has a status in Canada or has recently been approved to come to Canada? Again, if you're not sure about something, you hit the question mark and it will explain it. It says it means you will be staying with a family member who is already in Canada or who has applied to come to Canada and has been accepted as a visitor, worker, or student. However, if you click accompanying, it will explain what that means. It means this person intends to come to Canada at the same time as you. So I would select no for that unless you are going with somebody at the same time or somebody under the same application, for example, the spouse of a student or the spouse of a worker. So for example, when my husband was doing his work permit application, he selected yes for this question because even though we did not come to Canada together, meaning we didn't travel on the same day, he was basically accompanying me because it could have worked out where we could have traveled together. So in that case, you can select yes. But if, say, for example, somebody is living in Canada for such and such years or months, almost a year, and you're going to visit them, then I would select no for this question. One, have you ever committed, been arrested for, or been charged with or convicted for any criminal offense in any country? And it says, it explains it. A criminal offense is an action that is against the law. It basically explains what it is. And guys, please be truthful on your application. No for that. Have you ever had a medical exam performed by an RCC authorized panel? For most people, this is no. If you are applying as a family, select yes, you want to submit an application for a family member. If you are applying solo, then you select no. Here, I would recommend selecting no, but if your circumstance is different from no, then you select the option that applies to you. If it is your first time applying, never done a biometrics before, then you are going to select no. Of course, you'll be paying for your fees unless you are exempt from doing so. And guys, if you're doing an online application, you're going to need a scanner or a camera or both to make digital copies of your documents. So you just select yes and next. You're gonna need one of these cards to pay for the application, so yes again and next. And guys, they give you a chance to review your application before submitting. That way you can edit it. If you have made a mistake, you can always go over and fix the information, and you can do that as many times as you want before submitting your application. Go over, you click on the icon there, the pen icon, and edit the information. This page is basically telling you about submitting your application, about saving your application, how to upload your documents. You can read through that and then you click continue. On this page, you will see the documents that you need to upload. So you're gonna need to fill out a few forms, and guys, you cannot complete them on your phone. So if you're using a phone, you're gonna need a laptop to fill the forms, and I believe that you have to have Adobe Reader on the laptop in order to open the documents and to validate the application forms. If you are like me, I do everything from my phone, so I fill out everything, my supporting documents, from my phone. However, when it comes to the forms, I transfer over to my laptop where I upload the documents. So the first thing you're going to need to do is fill out the application form. And again, this can only be done on a laptop unless you know how to do it on the phone. I've never seen anybody do it on the phone, but if you know how to do it on the phone, you can go ahead and do that. Then you're going to need to fill the supporting documents. As you can see, it requires travel history because I selected yes for that section. For the passport, you need your bio page, and again, you can click on the question mark to see what exactly they are asking for. So if you have a travel history within 10 years, you are going to need to upload this. If it is past 10 years, let's say 20 years, 15 years, you don't need to upload those past documents like past visas, passports. But I like to overshare things, and so I still upload them even if they are not current or not required. Once I feel like it's relevant to my application, I am gonna upload it. And the passport now is for the valid passport that you have with the stamps and visas, etc. You upload those. And guys, where you have multiple page documents, you just combine them as one document in like a PDF form, and you'll be able to upload it as one document. And because we selected that we're visiting somebody, you have to have an invitation letter. But let's see what it says here. It basically tells you how to write the invitation letter. I could also give you a sample of how to write an invitation letter. If you are interested in that, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I don't want to overwhelm you by putting everything in this video. I basically just want to clarify any misunderstanding that people had from the previous video. And your proof of means of financial support. This can be in the form of your job, pay stub, employment letter, or if there's anybody who is sponsoring your trip, you need to upload that information there. And it shows the photo requirement. You also need a purpose of travel. Now, the purpose of travel, you guys, can be in the form of a flight ticket or a travel itinerary, proof of a medical appointment if, let's say, you're going for like a surgery or anything like that. But no, we're visiting, so we're not talking about that. I've also been asked if you should buy a ticket. Please do not buy a ticket until your visa is approved. So for this section, for purpose of travel, you can write a letter of explanation stating why you want to come to Canada. You want to visit your aunt, you want to visit your friend, you want to attend a graduation, a wedding, you want to see a family member, whatever it is, you explain it in the purpose of travel. If you are also interested in seeing how to write a purpose of travel, please let me know in the comment section and I will be able to assist you with that. In the family information form, again, you're going to need to do that on your laptop. The proof of relationship, you guys, it is required. Proof of relationship is required if you're visiting somebody. So say, for example, you need to show birth certificate to show that this is your aunt, your sister. You need to show marriage certificate if you're visiting your spouse. And for some countries, you have the relationship in the passport. You can also upload that. If you are cousins, depending on how you are related, you may not be able to quickly show the relationship. I suggest that you just Google how to show relationship, like if it's a cousin. If you're visiting your friend, to show proof of relationship, you can also upload photos showing that you actually know this person that you're gonna visit, and or you can write a letter of explanation explaining the relationship, explaining how you met. Anything that you feel is not clear from the proof of relationship. That letter of explanation would come under client information, or if you want to put it together with the photos under just one document, you can do that and upload it at proof of relationship. And then client information, you guys, is for anything else that you were not able to upload in the other part of the application. You simply upload it at client information. And the application for a temporary visa made outside of Canada, you're gonna need your laptop or personal computer desktop to upload that. At the end, you have your fees: $100 for the visa application and $85 for the biometrics. That's $185. After you send your application, you'll receive an email from IRCC stating that they have received your application, and they will also send you your biometrics letter. In the email, they will also upload on this same portal, so please remember your password, because this is where you're gonna know if your visa was granted or refused. And this is where they will also be communicating with you. So you will get the biometrics letter in this same portal. You just set an appointment to do the biometrics. You can Google how to do that according to where you are located. You just fill out the information and then you'll be able to proceed. If you are not yet ready to submit, you have up to 60 days to submit any application. You just select exit questionnaire and it will take you to the page that shows all the applications you have submitted. Scroll down and you will see continue an application you haven't submitted. That's where you will continue the application, upload the documents, upload the forms, and pay the fees in order to submit. I hope that this video cleared up any misconception or any confusion that you had in the previous video. Last year, 2022, was the first time I've done a visitor visa application. If a person's asking me if I've ever used another portal, I am not sure what the other portal looks like, because since last year, it's been looking like this. I've never noticed any changes in the portal. So if you have used something in the past, something else in the past, I'm not able to confirm that. I apologize in advance for the quality of the video, but I record from my phone in order to be able to edit in time. So please bear with me in this video. To fill out the forms, what you will do is you will go to the form that you need to fill, right click on the form, select save link as. You probably will see save as well. Click that one. You will see something like this at the lower left corner of your screen. Select save. When it saves, you can go to download and open the file. In order to successfully load the file, you go to the downloaded file, and I would suggest that you download the file somewhere that you can locate it easily. Then you are going to right click on the file, select open with. So guys, this is what I mean when I said you should have Adobe. Or if you are able to open it in another application, that's fine. I always use Adobe. You're gonna click on it, left click. If I don't say right click, then it's left click, guys. And then it will pop up in this screen. You would not have the UCI because it is your first application or you just started the application, so you may not have UCI. It's okay to leave it blank. And for this one, you select the language, visitor visa. You fill out your information. The family name, guys, is your last name, and then the given name is your first name, and if you have a middle name. Let's say your given name is John Lee, and if you have any other name, you can select that, but we're gonna select no. And then you just go ahead and fill out the other information. Previous countries or territory of residence. If you have lived anywhere else in the world, you select yes. If not, you select no. And note here, guys, that it says for more than 6 months. So if you have spent 3 months, it's okay to put no. We're just gonna put no there. I mean, if it is yes, you will already know that you just put the country. Status, if you were a worker, there will be a drop down, and then you put from when to when. If you're applying from where you live, you put yes. And if you're married, you have to put your partner's name. And my partner here in the example doesn't have a middle name, so you just leave the first name and you put the date when you got married. Then have you been previously married? I'm just gonna put no. So for this part 1D, have you taken a test from a designated testing agency? Most people will put no, unless you have an English test from like an IELTS or CELPIP. Just put no. Then you fill your passport information. Okay, so this is what we have done so far. For the nationality part, guys, number 1, do you have a national document? I just select yes and I put back my passport information. So this is what it is looking like. After that, it's your contact information, which is pretty straightforward. You just fill in where you live. If you do not have an apartment number, you just leave it blank. So for the purpose of the visit, since we selected family, we're just gonna do the same on the form. And the funds available for your stay. Guys, if you do not know the amount in Canadian dollars, let's say for example you have 500,000 Jamaican dollars, just drop it in Google, 500,000 Jamaican dollars to Canadian dollars, and you put the amount that you see. Then you are going to put how long you will stay. I usually put 2 weeks because that's the time you get off from work. And then you put the information of the person you're gonna visit. And if you're visiting more than one, you can also add more. But we're gonna keep it simple. For this part, we're just gonna say no. And guys, yes, you are required to give details of your employment for the past 10 years. It is very important. So I'm just gonna pretend that for the past 10 years I've been working at this one place because it's a lot to fill and we do not have time to fill it in this video. So I'm just gonna put some information representing one place, but if you have worked more than one place, please list all over the past 10 years. So this is what I have filled. Now this part is just a little about your background so that Canada can decide if they should admit you. Are you safe for their country? Guys, for this section, it may sound very ridiculous, but please be truthful. So for this one, guys, if you have, let's say, previously held a study visa and it's now expired and you're applying for a new temporary resident visa, a visitor visa, then you would select yes for if you have previously applied to enter Canada or remain in Canada. But since you're applying as a fresh new visitor, we are going to select no. However, for the one that you were refused a work permit or study permit, please be truthful, guys. I have before been denied a US visitor visa. So I explained that in the little box right here. Something like that. And for this one, if you're not sure what Canada considers a criminal offense, you can always drop it in Google, criminal offense Canada, and you will see a list of what they consider criminal offense. If whatever you have done falls under it, then indicate. For me, I've never done anything, so I'm gonna select no. And for this part, it's up to you if you want to select yes or no. This will not affect your decision on your application. It's basically if they should contact you or if they could contact you in the future. Let's select yes. Then you are going to type your signature. So that's it. When you're finished, you select validate. If you have made a mistake or if you have left out anything. So a while ago, I made a mistake by leaving out this part, so it wouldn't validate. So I had to come back and fill that part. So let's validate to see if everything was properly done. Validation completed successfully. So there you have it. You have signed your document. The only thing you need to do now is save it again and upload it in that section. So to save the file, you simply click on that save icon and then choose where you want to save the file. To differentiate, you can put, I always put that at the end of my, just like that, it's saved. You just go to your desktop to be sure that it is actually there. For the next file, guys, I'm not going to show you how to open it because I already showed you from this one. I'm just going to go on it and fill it. So the next form is the family information form, or the IMM 5645. This is what it looks like. You're basically listing out information about your family, and for this one you're gonna have to either print, fill and sign, or you fill it online, and if you have e-signature you can also attach it there. So in this section you will put the name of the corresponding family member, and I put physically present because we were both there during the marriage. And for this part we put the date of birth for all family members in this small section here, and the country of birth in the bigger section. Then for this part you put the address of the corresponding family members, and in the smaller part here you put the occupation. Over onto this side, remember throughout the application process I put that I'm applying as a single applicant, meaning I'm not applying for a visa for anybody, so they will not accompany me. So I select no for each family member. Guys, please note this little part of the form because a lot of people often miss it. So if no spouse or common law partner is listed, then you sign below. If you are single meaning you have no partner, then you sign here. Whether you are single or married, you are gonna have to date it. So in this case, it should look something like this because I stated that I am married according to the application. Then for children, I am gonna leave it as not having children because this is a lot of information to fill. So I'm just gonna leave it at not having kids. But if you have kids, it's pretty simple. You put their name, you put their marital status, so you put the relationship, your son. If it's your stepchild, you put stepson or stepdaughter, or adopted son, adopted daughter. For this part, you put their date of birth in a smaller section and the country of birth in the bigger section. You put their occupation. If they're student, you put student. If they're working, you put their occupation, whatever it is. In the bigger box here, you put their address, and you put no, they will not accompany you because we said that we're applying for a visitor visa just for myself. And because according to the application I have no children, I am going to sign here when I'm finished, so I will date it regardless, but then at the end I am going to sign it. There's no option for me to sign here, but if I had the e-signature I could have attached it here Otherwise, I could just print this filled form and hand sign the signature here. And then for this section, guys, you have to declare your siblings. So brothers and sisters that you have, including half brothers and sisters, as well as stepbrothers and stepsisters. I'm just gonna leave it at I do not have them. Again, if you have them, it's the same like you filled for the rest. And I forgot to mention, guys, if they're deceased, then you give just the city / the town where they lived and in what country and the date they died. When you're done doing that, you have to sign. So whether you have siblings or not, this part here for the signature is for the end of the application form. So for the overall application form, it has nothing specifically to do with this section of the form. It's just for the overall form. So whether you have siblings or not, you are required to put your signature here and to date the form. As I said, when you're finished dating the form, you are gonna save the form, print it, attach your signature, scan it, and upload it. Or if you have an application that can attach your e-signature, you do that. Save the form and then you scan and upload it. So for the top of the form here, guys, the type of application, and I know that people are gonna ask me how to save the form. Well, depending on the application in which you opened it, you can right click somewhere on your screen and select save, and it will tell you where to save it. And you select desktop, or if you want to select it in downloads or wherever, and then you can go there and access the form. The final form to fill, guys, is the application for a temporary resident made outside of Canada, the IM5257. So for this one, you're going to indicate if you're the principal applicant. Then you're going to input your full name and your date of birth. For UCI, we don't know the UCI as yet, so we're going to leave there blank. Question number 4, 5, 6, and 7 are rather personal, so if they apply to you, you indicate yes or no according to your situation. Number 8 is asking you to fill your travel information, and because on the application form I put that I traveled within the past 10 years, I am going to fill the travel history in one of the sections. So this is what it is looking like, and if you have been to a lot of countries and you need to add more rows, you just click on the plus sign and you'll be able to do that. Guys, that is basically it. This one is very simple and straightforward. It took less than 5 minutes to complete. When you're finished inputting the information, you simply validate. Validation completed successfully. You save this document and you upload it to your application. And guys, that is basically it. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you found it useful, please do not hesitate to share it with somebody. Leave your comments and let me know if it benefited you or if you learned something from it. Don't forget to hit like. Once more, I apologize for the quality of the video. Please focus on the information and not the quality. And guys, I hope somebody will benefit from this video because it was so hectic to create. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Catch you all in another video. Bye.